Music you can hear performed live tomorrow as part of the Virtuosi Concert series. That was a little bit of Haydn for you. Well, you're in the Diamond Lane on Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak, and I'm joined by Harry Strub, the co-founder and artistic director of Virtuosi Concerts, and Madeline Hildebrand, the Young Artist Program Coordinator. Good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon, Simon.
Oh, well, thanks so much for doing this. Harry, I want to begin with you. Just a few months ago, you were in talking with Michael Wolch, revealing the 2017-18 season. I'm sure it feels like not all that long ago. And it's an exciting season. I mean, we've got the Dover Quartet coming in, a full performance of the Bach cello suites, the WSO in collaboration with Larry Chikevich and one Madeline Hildebrand, who happens to be with us here in the studio. But before we get to all that, I want to talk about tomorrow's season opener, the Montrose Trio. What's in store for tomorrow's performance?
I didn't hear the question. I'm in a radio studio, and I actually didn't hear the question.
What's in store for tomorrow's performance?
Well, two Canadian superstars, two of the biggest stars of Canada, Martin Beaver and Jackie Parker on the piano. You can begin and end right there. And indeed, Jackie Parker is giving a master class in the afternoon. He gets off the plane at noon and rushes to Eckhart Grammaday Hall for a master class, and then he's got to take a little nap, have a little bite, and then they perform as a trio. And of course, Martin and the cellist, Clive Greensmith, they were part of the Tokyo String Quartet, who we featured in 2004. It was probably the biggest concert we ever did in 2004. And then a few years ago, just before they retired, I was able to hear them live again in New York with all these new players. And it was so moving to hear them in their final stages.
Oh, no kidding. I mean, you speak of the Tokyo String Quartet, and then they've now kind of developed, joined by Parker at the piano, into the Montrose Trio. Can you speak a little bit to that transition?
Well, the Jackie Parker was touring with the Tokyo Quartet in that last season, and after their final concert, Martin and Clive approached Jackie and said, "Look, we're thinking of forming a piano trio. How about it?" And Jackie apparently said, "This is so thrilling." And, it's especially interesting because the other Parker brother is Jamie Parker, the anchor of the Griffin Trio. And they've been so careful not to step on each other's toes. So Jamie has a reputation as a Beethoven player, and Jackie wouldn't touch a Beethoven sonata for the longest time. So this is really extraordinary to have two of the world's top piano trios, Canadian. And we're going to have them on a regular basis.
Oh, that's outstanding. Talk about brotherly love right there. That's absolutely wonderful. So I grew up just a couple streets away from Montrose Street, and I'm sure that many Winnipeggers are looking at the name of this program, From Tokyo to Montrose Street. Can you tell us a little bit about the naming behind this season opener?
And indeed, I just learned about it in January when I was in New York, and they played for a small group of presenters. And that's when they told the story about how they formed and how they picked the name. Jackie has the Montrose Arts District in Houston, and Martin Montrose Street. But Clive is a lover of Bordeaux Montrose.
Like a Chateau Montrose? Or
Chateau
Montrose,
like yes.
Yeah.
Which apparently Clive says is really too expensive for him. So they can only celebrate after a concert when you've got a rich presenter who can do it.
That's outstanding. I mean, one of the neat things, too, is that Virtuosi is really no stranger to wine with those wine. It's like almost like a perfect pairing for this season opener.
Yes, we love to give our audience a sample of wine courtesy of Dinardi's. It's been a standard feature, and the audience really just loves it to just be able to come, and they don't have to spend any money after all. Even at our intermission, coffee, cookies, whatever. It's hospitality for the audience at that point.
A most wonderful evening indeed. Madeline, I want to bring you into the conversation here. I mean, you're a board member. You're also pianist extraordinaire.
Oh, thank you.
I understand that you've played for Jackie Parker before. How did that?
Right.
Where was that?
Oh, well, it was for the 2013 Eckhart Grammaday National Music Competition. It was the piano year, and he was a juror. And so there were 5 of us that played all weekend, played our guts out 20th and 21st century repertoire with a heavy Canadian component. And he adjudicated us. We got master classes. And I was lucky enough to finish with the silver medal in the E-grade competition. And actually, at the reception afterwards, he offered to write me a quote for my bio. So that is proudly stated in the first paragraph of my bio. He said the nicest things.
And rightly so. So, I mean, as a younger performer, that kind of encouragement just has to be so rewarding.
Oh, it meant the world to me.
And this year, Virtuosi Concerts is offering 8 young performers the opportunity to open for some of these renowned artists.
Right.
Like Jackie Parker
Yes.
and the Montrose Trio. Can you tell us a little bit about the Young Artist Program?
Sure. Well, Indra Egan will be opening for the Montrose Trio. She is a master's piano student at U Manitoba, studying with David Morose. She is playing a wonderfully spicy piano work called Triana by Isaac Albanese. And I'm just so pumped for her that she gets such an amazing spot opening for Jackie Parker and for the Montrose Trio. So the Young Artist Program affords the opportunity to Manitoban young artists to open each subscription concert. And what they get is an honorarium. They get free tickets to the show that they are presenting in, and they get to be featured in our program, and our program reaches hundreds upon hundreds of people. So their bios and pictures are presented to our audience. And this year we've actually we've started a scholarship prize or prize money.
Right.
So the audience at one of our last concerts last year, we passed the hat and we raised just over $1,000, and we were able to give that away to 3 of the young artists. And yeah, so the program is growing, and I couldn't be more pleased about that. And the response that we've got from the audience is so warm, and I can't wait to hear Indra play tomorrow and the rest of them throughout the season.
There's that generous Winnipeg audience that we're all so thankful for.
So generous and so enthusiastic about it too. And yeah, it's heartwarming.
Oh, it most certainly is. Harry, returning back to you, why is it important to offer this opportunity to young players through Virtuosi?
It's really extraordinary. We've been integrating more and more in the last 5 years with organizing master classes, which is extraordinary because we don't have a music school. We don't have a music department. We don't teach music courses. But we just know that this is an extraordinary opportunity. We're an international recital and concert chamber music series. We're bringing in all sorts of interesting musicians, great musicians, and they should teach. They want to teach. And we just knew we had to get our act together to get these people involved. But frankly, I have to be honest, I never imagined that it could be so thoroughly integrated into the program so that we could introduce them not before the concert starts, but as part of the concert. While the entire audience is seated, it's a formal presentation. They come on and perform formally as an opening act. And the audience is thrilled about it. In fact, it's become so important that this year we had to move our concerts up to 7:30 from 8 o'clock because people were dying there at 10:15, 10:30. Dying is a little strong.
Yeah, not literally. Yeah.
So we moved all our concerts to 7:30. And we love the audience response to this. You know, we get audience comments written at the end of the concert, and we collate them, and almost all of them mention how much they appreciate the young artists.
Virtuosi really is a group experience that way. The audience can participate. We've got young performers participating in the series, and of course, these world-renowned talents coming in. So the last thing I want to ask you is, what are you most looking forward to hearing tomorrow?
Well, for me personally, it's always the Shostakovich. We've had it several times on this series. Never fails to move us, to make us cry. And nothing makes me happier than when music can move me. Doesn't matter how it moves me. If it makes me cry, it makes me a happy person. So that's what I'm most looking forward to. And it's such a powerful piece that I've never heard musicians approach it without having to say a few words. The history behind it is also powerful, and it produces so much meaning for the audience.
And Madeline, how about you?
Well, I would have to agree. The Shostakovich is, I don't even know how you could describe, especially that last movement. It's those who are there will erupt out of their seats.
I think that's a great way to describe it.
With the last movement especially. And I always love Haydn. He's a really playful. He's actually kind of, I don't want to take away from his profundity, but he's silly.
He is. I always imagine pianists playing Haydn with a smile on their faces.
Totally, and there's a lot of humor in his music, and with performers like we have tomorrow, they of course will get it, and therefore they're going to translate that to the audience too. I hope people will be giggling at moments through it.
I'm sure they will be. Well, Virtuosi Concerts are back. They begin tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. That's at the University of Winnipeg's Eckhart Grammaté Hall. And yes, that's at 7:30 p.m. Things have moved it. Harry, go ahead.
I just want to add one more thing, that there's not a bad seat in the hall for those who have never been there. We actually have a camera on the keyboard, so that if you have a seat on the right-hand side of the hall, you actually get to see the keyboard as well.
Oh, well, there you go. So there truly is now no bad seat in the house for Virtuosi Concert Series. Thank you so much, Madeline and Harry, for coming in and telling us a little bit about tomorrow's performance. You can find more information on our website, Classic 107. And, they introduced a little bit of the Shostakovich. I'm going to save that for tomorrow. And we're going to leave here with a little bit of the Arensky.